So he had a job working for Sherman Williams, I think was the name of the company. It was a paint company, and they sold paint and all that kind of stuff that they do to, paint houses or whatever. And I like, okay, you got a job. Well, I'm gonna go down there with you and try to look for one. So when it came time to leave, we left we graduated in December. We all graduated together. I still remember the day we graduated. It was December the 19th, 1986. And we left for Dallas. It was like January the 10th, somewhere around there. So it was right after.
So you both in the car and
going
to Dallas.
Driving. Well, I had my own car. He had his own car, of course.
Yeah.
And they got an apartment. And it was me, him, another guy that we went to school with, and his two brothers. So how many? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 of us in one apartment.
Five guys.
Yeah, I slept on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, I slept on the floor because I was like the homeless guy.
Okay.
And I remember looking for a job for about like 3-4 months. And in that time, my car broke down. I had that, remember the 75 Nova?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of gave out on me.
Wow.
So I had to get a new car without a job. But they had this incentive program at the time. You could buy a new car and the first payment wasn't due until 90 days after purchase. So I bought this new car because, like I said, the Nova gave out. And my 90 days was coming up in about a week's time. So I'm like, oh, man, I got to get something. I got a car note that's due in a week.
You needed the money, yeah.
I needed the money bad. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I got the classified ads, and I started looking for jobs in accounting. And I went on a lot of interviews, and nobody really hired me. But at the end of that week expiring, I interviewed with Domino's Pizza.
Domino's Pizza.
And they offered me a job.
Really?
And reluctantly, I took it.
What did you do?
It was in the management program.
Okay.
You started out like assistant manager,
Over
and you worked your way up to head manager, in which you ran your own store.
Okay.
But the training part of it that lasted for about at least 6 months. It took at least 6 months to get your own store. Well, needless to say, my 6 months went by, and I didn't get my own store. And so in the meantime, I'm delivering pizzas and making pizzas. And,
so you can make a really good pizza, I assume.
I could make a damn good pizza. And at the end of the night, I had to do all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Drop the money off at the bank, and all that. Make the bank deposits, because I added everything up at the end of the night. So, and I did that for about 2 years.
But you had the money to pay for your car.
I had to pay money to pay for my car. Yeah. And that's why I kept that job. Well, after doing that for 2 years, it got to the point where I just couldn't take it no more. I got a degree in accounting. I graduated at the top of my class with honors. And nobody would hire me. Every time I went on the interview, they would say, well, we kind of need somebody with experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you give me a job.
I get experience, yeah.
Yeah, I can get some experience.
Yeah.
But I can't get no experience. You don't give me a job. But they didn't want to hear that.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, man, I gotta find something.
Yeah.
So I tried to hang in there and do the best I could with, what I had. And it finally came to a point where I said to myself, this is not working. This accounting thing is not working. I've gone on probably about 50 interviews. I'm getting a classified section every weekend, because that's when most of the people advertised for jobs. It was the Sunday paper, and it was the biggest, thickest classified section ever. So when I would get it every week, I noticed that the police department was always hiring. They had the biggest ad there.
Okay.
And my friend used to tease me all the time, like, man, you need to apply for that police department. I'm like, dude, you crazy. I ain't working in no police department. He's like,
You got a college degree, yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the only job you're gonna get out there. Ain't nobody else hiring you in accounting. I'm like, no, I'm not working for no police department. And finally, after going on all these interviews, getting all these rejection letters, because they always answer you somehow or another, I finally came to the conclusion, you know what? Working for the police department may not be as bad as it sounds.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna see if I can get hired on at the police department, because everybody was hiring.
Yeah,
Just about every department in the DFW area was hiring. So I went and I took the test. It was a written test, of course. And for some reason or another, I failed.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what? I can't pass the test? It's got to be something wrong with that test.
Yeah.
Because you had to have like a 50, and I ended up making like a 48.
Oh,
So,
really close.
Yeah, really close. I'm like, no, I'm not giving up that easy. So I go to the next, city, which was close to that one, and I take the test again. Well, about halfway through it, I had to go to the bathroom real bad. And I talked to the test administrator. I'm like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real bad. You think I have enough time to, go to the bathroom and come back and finish? He's like, I don't know, but you're only allowed this amount of time. So by the time, because I had to go really bad, by the time I went to the bathroom and came back, time had expired.
Expired, yeah.
So I failed that test.
again, yeah.
I'm like, man, it must not be meant for me to get hired on at the police department. But I'm like, I ain't giving up that easy. So the next city I came, which was actually the one that hired me, was Arlington, Texas. I did the written. I passed it with like straight flying A's, straight colors. I mean, no problem at all. You had to write this paragraph, this long paragraph, a story. Like you had to write a story, and then you had all these multiple choice questions. I aced everything. And then after that, they had you to do like a physical agility test.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
That's easy.
Easy. Yeah. All you had to do was climb a wall. You had like a bench press. You had a leg press. Of course, I aced that really. You had to do a certain amount of push-ups. It was like they gave you a minute.
Yeah.
And I forget how many you had to do.
Maybe like 30 or something.
Maybe
more.
like 30 or 40, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. Well, I broke a record. I did 125.
Really?
In a minute. Yeah.
Whoa. That's really fast.
Yeah, that's really fast. And then you had to do this leg press. Of course, I did the stack. Bench press. Of course, I did the stack. It was a machine, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a universal machine anyway. And you had to do what was it? Sit-ups.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course,
Lying down and
I broke the record again on that too. I think I did. You had to do like 20 or 30. I think I ended up doing like 60, 70, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, sit-ups ain't nothing for me. So next after that was the psychological test. Pretty much aced that. Background, it was pretty easy too. It was kind of hard in a way because I was getting off from work at Domino's Pizza, and the police department was next door talking to my neighbors. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? He's like, well, we was talking to your neighbors to see what kind of neighbor
guy you are.
were.
Yeah. Okay.
And man, they went back to Grambling. They talked to all my instructors.
Really?
Yeah.
To your coach?
Yeah, the coach, everybody.
Really?
I'm like, man, this thing is really in depth. Then they went and talked to my neighbors.
It's a real detailed background check.
Yeah, it was a real background, thorough. Of course, I aced that. And then we had to take polygraph. Where they ask you all these questions. You ever stole anything? You ever killed anybody? You ever robbed anybody? No, I ain't did none of that. I pretty much aced that too.
Yeah, good.
I aced everything, and I remember the hardest test of all was the what was it? It was a test where they called it background test, where they tested your ability to answer questions under duress, under stress. And it was about 6 people in the room. They had like a psychologist, they had a captain, they had a sergeant, and they had like 2 other people in the room, and they would just fire questions at you
To see how you react.
how you reacted. And man, they had me in there for about 2 hours.
Really?
2 hours of asking me all these questions. Would you arrest your mom? Would you write her a ticket? Would you? They gave me like scenarios where somebody threw a bomb in a location and they was running, and then would you chase the suspect or would you help the people? You know that just got bombed.
Yeah.
I forget what I said, but
Yeah, you have to
it
say
came
something.
to the point where the guy was like standing on the table screaming and yelling at me. You know you would do this. You know you would do that. I'm like, no, I know exactly what I would do. I was so stressed after that thing was over with. The guy came to me, he's like, well, we're going to let you know in about 2-3 weeks whether you got the job or not. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you don't even have to call me and let me know I got the job. I know for a fact I didn't get this job after going through all that screaming and yelling and fussing at me and telling me I was wrong on that scenario. I was wrong on that scenario. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I remember I got home. My mom was talking to me. You think you got the job? I'm like, no, Mom, I didn't get the job. I didn't get that job. They put me through the ringer.
Yeah.
I mean, that interview was the hardest interview I'd ever had in my life. She's like, why? I like, they had all these people in there. They was asking me all these questions. And they were screaming at me and yelling at me, saying I had the wrong answer about this and about that. Well, the phone rang while I was talking to my mom.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, yeah, this is so-and-so from the police department. You got the job.
Really?
I'm like, huh? I'm like, is this real? He's like, yeah. He's like, you hired.
Yeah.
Man, that was
Because
the biggest relief ever.
they just check that you are a great guy, but and they can teach you the right things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got the job. 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They called me as soon as I got home. I'm like, wow, that's why I didn't believe him, because I thought you said it's gonna be 2 or 3 weeks. He's like, no, I just said that. I'm like, oh, okay. So needless to say, that was the most intense interview I had ever gone through in my life. But it was the biggest relief ever when he called me and said I got the job.
You got a job,
because
yeah.
I thought for sure.
So that you
I'm
have
not
like a
getting
purpose.
I'm not getting this job.
Yeah.
Where y'all was screaming and yelling at me in that interview. But it was the best job ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So you started with like a police academy, something?
Yeah, we had to go to the academy, which was probably about, I had to drive like 45 minutes to get to the school.
Yeah.
It was a college. It was in Fort Worth, Texas, and I lived in Irving, Texas at the time. And we had to go for 3 months and learn all the laws of the state and, all these, it was a lot.
Yeah.
They taught you how to shoot a gun, how to shoot rifles.
Were you good at that?
Shotguns. I was good at all of that.
Were you a good shooter?
Yeah, I was a great shooter.
Really? Good.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
I can imagine. Officer Coleman with a shotgun. I can imagine that.
Yeah, with a shotgun. I aced everything with a shotgun because, they were easy. They were big guns, real heavy. I was
your
still
style.
big and
Lightweight.
real strong. Yeah, lightweight at the time. And after 3 months, you had to take this test. I'll never forget it. It was the hardest test ever. It was 200 questions, all multiple choice, and every answer seemed like it was the right one.
Was possible, yeah.
I don't know how I passed it. I really and truly don't know how I passed that test, but I did.
By learning, yeah. Learning, studying.
And then after that, you had to go to the city academy. That was another 3 months where you had to learn all the city laws.
City laws,
so, the first academy was for state law.
Yeah, Texas,
Take the state law, the street, they taught you how to shoot and all this kind of stuff. Man, but that city thing was pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It was easy. Every test I took, I aced it. I think I had the highest grade point average. Once it was over with. That lasted for 3 months, so that's 6 months in, and I'm still not on the streets. Well, that's when you hit the streets after that. And you rode around with somebody for another 3 months.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
With a senior officer, like
a
teaching
field training officer.
Yeah.
What they called it. FTO. and you roll around with him, and he graded you on how you did, how you interacted with people each and every single day.
Training day.
Yeah, we had to work like morning shift for a whole month. We had to work an evening shift for a whole month. Then we had to work a midnight shift for a whole month.
Ah, okay.
And I hated all of those shifts except for the evening shift.
Yeah,
it was
that
my
would also be
favorite
mine.
one.
Yeah, me too.
It was the favorite one where all the action was. So I know what shift I'm gonna be working with when they when I get turned loose, when I get hired, I guess, because you still training, you're still not officially a police officer.
Yeah, of course.
So I went through it pretty easily. It wasn't that hard. And
Did
like
anything
I
happen?
said,
Did you get into a fight or shooting or something?
no,
No,
nothing.
just
It was all,
everything
just
calm.
basic work.
Yeah.
Never had to shoot at anybody. Never got shot at during that
Good.
training period. So I did pretty good and had a lot of fun with it.
Did that happen later?
Was that?
Did
Nope,
anybody shoot
nope.
at you?
To be honest with you, my whole 15-year career,
Yeah,
no shootings, nothing.
good.
But I had a lot of fun, a lot of fun days. Like I said, it was the best job ever.
Yeah,
I had so much fun on that job. I look forward to going to work every single day I went. Mm-hmm. And I remember when they told me that I'm not there enough and I was going to have to be let go.
after your second Olympia title.
Third.
After the third.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
After the third one.
Yeah.
And man, it was one of the worst days of my life. I remember sitting in that car and crying for like maybe 2 or 3 hours
Really?
in disbelief. Because I never thought it'd come a day where I would have to give up something that I truly loved doing and had a great passion for doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I look forward to going to work each and every single day. It was kind of like, I'm this bodybuilder and I'm Mr. Olympia, and I get a chance to not have to think about being a bodybuilder for some time. Mm-hmm. It was like a relief from the so-called stress of being a bodybuilder.
You had something different to do.
So I
and-
had something different to do and not think about, getting ready for the Olympia, not think about getting ready for the next show or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Like
I
a
look
vacation,
forward.
just-
kind of like a getaway.
Yeah.
From the stresses of being, a bodybuilder and having to worry about certain things that a bodybuilder has to do.
But you sat in the car and just was watching. You were watching the traffic and you were like eating and.
I did it all.
Yeah.
I did it all. For the most part, I work patrol where you answer calls and you work accidents, you work disturbances, fights and stuff like that, and
Drive to the people's homes and.
drive to the homes and answer alarms, burglar alarms.
Did a lot of those?
Nobody
those
never burglarized.
did a lot of those guys you were alerted to? Did they know who you were?
Oh yeah, of course. Everybody
So
knew.
Officer
Everybody
Coleman is coming.
Everybody knew me.
Did anybody say one time, could you please send Officer Coleman to my place? Said somebody called 911 and he said, please send Officer Coleman?
You know what? Most of the time when somebody dialed 911, it was a very stressful situation.
Yeah.
So they never made any request for any officers.
Oh, okay.
Like, I did work a certain district, where, I worked from 3 to 11 every day. And some of the times I would work in an area where I would go in and talk to the people. And then, of course, you know, if that place got burglarized or something, they would say, "Could you send Officer Coleman?" You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but it was just a basic call where it wasn't no stress or nothing. It wasn't no real
Yeah.
emergency. You know, whatever happened had already happened, and the people were long gone. And it was, like I said, it was in my district, you know, and it was people that I would always go in and talk to, and you know, just have a great understanding about what was going on in that area. So yeah, they would.
You knew the
request me.
guys
Yeah, I knew
and-
the people.
Yeah, the people
and
there,
I
yeah.
had been working there for quite a long time. So, because like I said, I worked the same shift, the same hours, the whole time I worked there. 15 years, you know. I was on that same shift from 3 to 11. And then one time they had a test period where we had a 10-hour shift, and it was from 2 to midnight. And for some reason, they didn't like the shift because they didn't like the hours because too many guys had to put in overtime. I don't know why, but you know, that was one of the major complaints where we couldn't do 10-hour shifts. And I really hated that because the days off I had was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, we worked 4 days and 3 days off and 10-hour shift, you know, 40 hours a week. But those 5 days, 8-hour days wasn't so bad. You just don't get those 3 days off like you do with the 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
The 10-hour shift worked actually really good for me because
Really?
Oh yeah, because that extra day, you know, I could really kind of focus on bodybuilding and get my timing down real good.
So you trained
Work
before?
on what I needed to work on for the show.
Yeah. You trained in the morning?
I always trained the same time. I would train I would go in about 12:30, or between 12:30 and 1. And like I said, I never worked out no more than an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
If
You're
I
not
went
the
past-
morning guy, aren't you? Huh? You're not the morning guy.
No.
Me too.
I would get up every morning at 11 o'clock.
Really? That late?
Yep, that late.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, me-
Yep. And I would do my first hour cardio
Yeah.
because I had the treadmill right beside my bed.
Ah, okay.
I would get out of bed and jump right on it.
On the treadmill.
On the
Okay.
treadmill.
Okay.
And do my first hour. And right after that, I would eat my second meal of the day and go straight to the gym from there. So I was 11 to 12 on the treadmill, and from like 12 to 12:30, somewhere in there, I was eating my second meal. And I normally got to the gym about 1, somewhere in there, between like 12:45, 1 o'clock. And like I said, it's an hour. So I was done at 2.
Yeah.
And I would go home, take a quick shower, and grab my food and head off to work.
Yeah.
And I got to work every day about right at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, go through briefing with 5 minutes. They just tell us, you know, what had been going on today and
Yeah.
make sure everybody showed up. You had to punch the clock pretty much. And as soon as I got to my car, I would eat my third meal of the day.
Third meal, yeah.
In the car.
Chicken and rice, yeah.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice.
Same thing every single day. And
On the fourth meal
so
after that, or
the fourth
during work?
after that was during work. So we clocked in at 3. I
Yeah.
would eat around about 3:15, somewhere in there. And my next meal, I would eat always 3 hours, you know, between meals.
Yeah.
So my next meal was right around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Steak and potatoes.
Nope. Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice again. The fourth, okay?
Sometimes, I would eat turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey and maybe potato or something.
Yeah.
Not, most of the time, it was just protein only. Because I didn't only had like two meals of
Carbohydrates.
carbohydrates. Because I was only
yeah.
taking in, 125
Yeah.
grams. somewhere
Okay.
now, which is not much.
Not much, no.
So, those
But then you
other
had,
4 meals was just protein only.
yeah, but then you had steak after work. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite meal of the day.
I can't imagine that.
My steak and potato.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was just
Yeah,
steak.
like we had yesterday evening. Yeah.
Yeah. And my last meal of the day was always just the protein shake.
Yeah, but a really large one.
100 grams.
Imagine that. Okay.
Yep, 100 grams.
And
And I would go straight to bed.
did you sometimes did you get up at night and
Yeah,
you
I would
eat
sleep
again?
for 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'd sleep for 3 hours, and I would wake up at 7 o'clock.
Really?
So
Did you use a timer or was
I had
this?
a timer. I had a
You
timer.
had a timer, yeah.
I wake up at 7 o'clock every single morning, and from 7 to 8, I would eat a meal.
Yeah.
Because I had this favorite news show I would watch every single day.
Yeah.
And I would watch it for an hour
It's like
and go back to bed
back to bed till 11. So
till 11.
so
Yeah,
you slept like
I'll
6 hours, 2 times 3 hours.
Yeah. I would sleep from 4 to 7, and then 8 to 11 every single day.
4. You stayed up that late in the night.
I stayed up that late
Really?
because when I got off from work, I had to do my cardio for an hour.
Again,
My second one. And
Yeah.
Then I had to shower, and then I had to eat. Twice?
Yeah.
Because I had the steak and potato, and then I had the protein shake.
Yeah.
So I would, shower. I would eat. Then I would get on the computer and do like email.
Your business thing.
Yeah. Try to do a little business stuff. And I got a lot of email back in those days.
Yeah.
And after that, I would have my last meal of the day, and which was a protein shake.
And then
And
maybe
went straight to bed.
Yeah.
Every single day, at the same time, every single night. Whether I was done with the email or not, I had a time.
Yeah. And the morning meal, it was grits, right?
Yep, it was always grits and a protein shake.
Yeah. And a lot of
Another one of my favorite
cheese
meals.
flavor in the grits.
Yeah,
Or
it
cheese
was
in the
fake cheese,
yeah.
cheese powder.
And egg whites.
No, I couldn't eat egg whites for a contest. I could only eat egg whites in the off season because there was too much sodium
Okay.
in the egg whites.
You had to control that.
I had I had to monitor the sodium because it would make you hold a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's not good for bodybuilding. So I could eat no egg whites when I was getting ready for a show.
Okay.
So it was only a protein shake and the grits.
So and
and the
after
fake cheese.
and after the Olympia contest, you always took 3 months off.
Yeah. After every Olympia, I would take 3 months off because I would beat my body up so bad to the point where it needed a break.
Yeah.
And I say for any amount of longevity in this sport, I'm going to have to, give my body a break.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped out a whole lot because, like I said, that break allowed me to hang around just a little while longer, and give my body a rest, give it a break where, I could take time away and allow my body to recuperate from all that beating I put on it, getting ready for the Olympia. Because it needed a break real bad.
I can imagine that. So did you just reduce the weight and you kept working out, or did you do no workouts at all?
I didn't do anything.
Anything?
I didn't do cardio. I didn't even diet.
Really?
No, it was a break from
Everything.
From
Just-
everything.
So
It was a reset.
So you didn't hit the gym for 3 months
I didn't go to the gym at all
at
for
all.
3 whole months.
Okay.
Yeah, I even calculated the amount of time and the months and everything, the weeks.
Really? And
Yeah.
did you lose some muscles and during that time? And you had to gain that again?
Yeah, I did. I got a little
I
small.
guess, yeah. But it
But
was fine for you, or did you have problems with that? Looking in the mirror
No,
and saying,
no,
"Okay,
no.
I'm looking small."
No, I felt like I was doing myself a great service.
Yeah.
And it was part of my training.
Yeah. Did you also do that after the first Olympia, or did you have to learn that you say, okay, I need some time?
I kind of like did that after the first one.
Really?
Because I felt like, I've done all this work all these years,
Yeah.
and now I've accomplished the number one goal,
Yeah.
of every bodybuilder, and that's to win the Olympia professional. And I say, I deserve a break.
Yeah, of course you did. But was there a point that you maybe also thought, okay, I've won the Olympia, now I'm taking 3 months off, should I come back? Did you ever say, okay, maybe it's enough? Or did you ever ask yourself that question? Did you just say, no, I'm coming back. Of course I'm coming back.
Of course I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
Because I still had that passion.
Yeah, of course.
And I never really lost it. It was kind of hard for me to take all that time off, but I felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
And in order for me to continue winning, I need to give my body a break so I could reset and go back and, start rebuilding over again. It's kind of like me starting all over again.
What was the feeling when you did the first workout after that?
It was like
must have been
me
amazing.
being an amateur
Yeah.
going to the gym for the first time. So I'm lifting as light as possible.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I'm really lifting lightweight for real.
For real, okay.
Yeah, so dumbbells, probably no heavier than 70, 80, Bench press.
Not heavier than 80, yeah.
Yeah, bench press probably no heavier than maybe 225, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the heaviest, but I did 135 for a long time, where I would just do like a certain number of reps, until I felt like I was regaining my strength.
Yeah.
back.
And then the intensity grew
it
from
grew
day to
and
day.
grew and grew each and every single week. Yeah, I would amp it up just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until I fully regained my strength.
Yeah.
And it took about maybe a whole month and a half, almost 2 months.
Yeah.